All right, folks. Welcome back to Stream Catchers. One half of your co-host here, AB, along with good brother Jack. Jack, what's going on, buddy?
What's up, AB? Happy to be here. Happy to talk about What If. How are you?
Woo, feeling good, feeling great, man. What if episode 5, the zombie episode? Cool to see that one came a little bit sooner than I expected. There's a lot. There's a lot to jump in on this one.
I have a ton of notes. I have so many
All
notes.
right. Good deal. Well, let's just do quick hits, then we can jump into thoughts and riffing on the episode itself. So,
Sounds good.
what if zombies opens up with Bruce Banner crashing into the Sanctum Sanctorum, just like in Infinity War. This time, he is not greeted by Wong and Doctor Strange, so he wanders outside where Ebony Maw and Cole Obsidian are making their threat on the planet. They are interrupted seemingly by Stark, Strange, and Wong, but Banner quickly finds out that the three of them are zombies. He's rescued by the most ragtag team of Marvel heroes ever assembled, including Hope Van Dyne, Spider-Man, Bucky Barnes, Happy Hogan, Sharon Carter, Okoye, Kurt from the Ant-Man movies, and the Cloak of Levitation. We learned that the zombie infection begins with Hank Pym's trip to the quantum realm and an attempt to pull Janet Van Dyne out, but her brain was corrupted by a quantum virus. The mission really is to get to Camp Lehigh, where Captain America was born, where there is a signal being emitted from some supposed survivors. One by one, the heroes fall on their way to Camp Lehigh, where they encounter Vision, who reveals the Mind Stone emits a frequency the zombies don't like, and that it could be the cure for the plague, as it did cure Scott Lang, who is revealed to be just his own head in a jar, Futurama style. They learn from a surviving T'Challa that Vision lured them to the spot as a means to to feed the infected Wanda. Vision recognizes his mistake and helps the remaining heroes escape from a zombie Scarlet Witch, but only Peter, Scott Lang, and T'Challa are able to get out on a quad jet with the Mind Stone. They head back to Wakanda in hopes of using the stone to find a cure, and our show closes out showing a zombified Thanos with 5 of the 6 Infinity Stones on his gauntlet. So, Jack, what did you think of the episode?
So, that's a hard question to answer. I don't want to sound like I didn't like the episode, but I do have a lot of problems with it. I have a lot of holes that okay, so let me wrap that. Let me wrap up my rambling with a nice little bow. If you don't think about it, it's a really good episode. It's really fun. I had a good time. As we're gonna analyze it, there's a lot of problems. What about you? What do you think?
I agree. I have a couple problems with it, no doubt.
Okay.
But I honestly, honest to God, it was my favorite episode so far.
No
I
kidding. Okay, cool. Good for you, man.
I,
I'm glad that you enjoyed it.
I really did. I really did. I think because I didn't know what to expect more than anything, knowing that
Mm-hmm.
there was going to be a zombie episode. I didn't know that it was going to be tied into Infinity War. So like when the
Yeah.
show opened up and they started showing the credits for who was going to be in it, it was like Paul Bettany and Chadwick Boseman and all the John Favreau. I was like, wow, there's a
A
stacked
lot.
cast on here. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I thought that I really liked the creativity with the survivors. We'll get into
Mm-hmm.
everybody on that. Uh, there were definitely problems. I have a few gripes, but it was so enjoyable. I love the zombie element of it, and I would love a zombies part 2 more than anything that we've seen in the show so far.
Yeah, I would. Oh, I'd be psyched for another part. Yeah, honestly, I'd be psyched for a part 2 with almost any of these episodes. But
Sure.
I think zombies would be a good one because I mean we kind of had we had our Infinity War zombies. Now we need our Endgame zombies.
Yeah. I do want to talk about that at some point, but it sounds like you have some gripes. I want to hear these. I want to hear these to start this off.
No, I don't want to start negative.
Okay, no, go with
No,
what
no.
was your favorite part of the episode?
Let's do a good thing first. So I saw on the internet before I watched the episode that Spider-Man was not voiced by Tom Holland. I hadn't looked into this prior, and I just saw a thing about it, and I said, well, that kind of sucks. I'm really surprised Tom Holland wouldn't do it. I don't know if that was an issue with timing or whatever it may be. But
I think it might have been a Sony Disney thing.
okay, well, that's even worse.
Yeah.
But Spidey's his voice actor was super good. I have no problems with the voice actor. I don't think that he was necessarily trying to sound like Tom Holland Spider-Man. He just had a really good Peter Parker voice. You know, there's been a ton of voice actors that voiced him in video games and stuff like that, and I think he's just as good as any of them, really.
Honestly, yeah, that was one of the things I picked up on, and I don't think he was trying to sound like Tom Holland, but I don't think there was much of a drop in tone and delivery. I mean, it really did sound like it was Tom Holland, so
Yeah,
that helped
yeah,
with the recasting, I think.
yeah. Um, so just moving on from that, the next thing I wrote down was that I wrote down the Nexus event because I'm always interested in what the Nexus event of the What If is, and it's that Janet Van Dyne contracts a zombie virus, and this is the second episode that we've had Hank Pym responsible for the death of so many Avengers.
Yes, damn it, Hank.
I don't know if you noticed
I
that.
I did. Um, Honestly, I have an issue with this Nexus event.
Okay.
And it's probably the same thing as Christine. You just kind of go with it just because. But well, there's this quantum virus.
Hmm.
It feels like that in itself is the Nexus event. So is that something that was engineered? Is that something that she stumbled upon on a different route she took on her morning walk? What where
Yeah.
out of where does this virus come from? I know it's the
I
quantum
like
realm,
I
and
like that you put it that way because I like when the Nexus event, I like when the what if is sparked by a decision, like an active decision that a character made, and we don't know what that decision was. You know, all
right.
we know is that in this one there was a zombie virus that infected Janet, and that's all we know. We don't get to see anything beyond that.
Exactly. And it was a jam-packed episode. So much happened. I am willing to just say, okay, but I guess it would have been nice to like have the exact moment that set us on this course outside of just believe us. But
Right.
it's not worth nitpicking, I don't think. I think that there are probably bigger holes elsewhere, but it was just one of those
Oh,
things
for
where it was
sure.
like,
Yeah.
what else? What actually happened? I don't know.
And it honestly though, it kind of falls in line with other zombie shows and movies and stories and stuff like that, because a lot of zombie stories you never get the patient zero, the outbreak, how it started. You're in it all of a sudden, and that's okay with zombie stories.
Sure. Hey, maybe it was a lab in Wuhan, China. That
Yeah. Yeah.
I kid,
So okay,
everybody.
what do you think about? Okay, so this is something that I don't think that I like about this episode, but I don't know a whole lot about Marvel zombies in general. I didn't care for the heroes using their powers and their skills and everything.
What do you mean? Like the zombie heroes
The
using their
the zombie,
skills?
yeah. Oh, I said heroes, zombies. Yeah, the
Okay, okay.
zombies that are heroes. Well, yeah. So like Tony Stark uses his suit. Wanda is like completely like she flies around. She levitates stuff. She's doing all her Scarlet Witch powers. Strange and Wong use their magic. Like there's
Sure. They're
how did you
all
feel about that?
Hawkeye. I definitely feel like, historically, traditionally in zombie stuff, they become mindless, right? There's
Yeah,
no retention of knowledge or anything. They're just mindless zombies. Um, I'm sure there's a few exceptions scattered throughout entertainment, but by and large, when we watch a zombie movie, show, whatever it is, yeah, they're mindless and all that. So it is a bit weird. It is a bit of a stretch. I guess I just boil it down to it's just to make it more menacing, right? What's scarier than a zombie? A zombie Iron Man, right? A zombie
yeah,
Hawkeye.
yeah.
Like that's another one, like the Hawkeye one, where he's still like, but I guess he missed a few times, right? So
Mm.
um, I don't know. I get the gripe. I think it's a valid one, but I think that as far as just a plot device to keep it going and make them scarier is like whatever.
Yeah. I'll revisit it if you don't want to talk about it yet. But my biggest gripe about the zombies was the at the very end with the Thanos with the zombie Thanos. I don't know
Let
if you want
let
to dive into that yet.
let's dive because that was my biggest gripe too. That was my biggest gripe too.
So I like halfway through the episode, I got over it. I'm like, okay, yeah, Iron Man's gonna use his power, his suit. The Avengers if they don't use their powers, fine, okay. Or if they do use their powers, that's fine because like what sets them apart from everybody else, I guess. So like I got that. I get it. It's cool, whatever. And then we see zombie Thanos with an infinity gauntlet with 5 stones in it. Is like, okay, so he still wants to wipe out half
Right.
of all living life. Like why does he has his motivation? Not only does he have like powers, like he's a god or whatever, but he also still has his mission of collecting the infinity stones. I don't know if I buy that.
I don't either. Um, and I saw a theory that I don't even really know if I want to talk about it because I don't want to take their theory. It's their thing. The theory basically is that somebody did engineer this virus for the sole purpose of finding the Mind Stone because that lures, which we'll get, I guess, yeah, that the Mind Stone lures zombies to it. Is that the whole thing, or was it something else that was luring?
Um, the Mind Stone was keeping the zombies at bay,
Right.
actually. Yeah.
There, yeah, I'm not. But then forget it. I'm not even gonna because I don't fully remember what the theory was, and I don't think it really
Okay.
matters. I agree. I think it's a big plot hole. I think well, and I think the bigger thing is how exactly does Thanos get infected?
Yeah.
Because this is obviously an Earth contained problem, right? It originates in the quantum realm, comes out into Earth, and
Hmm.
that's just kind of it. So, Thanos having 5 of the 6 stones, everything but the Mind Stones. Obviously, the Power Stone and the Space Stone come how they did. We would assume the Reality Stone comes how it does. Soul Stone, same. He gets the Time Stone differently here. So I guess the argument could be that he goes to Earth to get the Eye of Agamotto, and that's where he gets bitten. But if
Hmm.
he has Infinity Stones, you know, how is he not able to just push them at bay? Like it doesn't make sense that he would be a zombie.
Yeah. Well, I took it as because he has all 5. I figured, well, that scene has to be on Earth, right? Because he has the
The
Time
Time Stone.
Stone.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. But I
And he
mean, if
was
we're
in
gonna talk,
Wakanda, so he's definitely on Earth.
yes, yeah, yeah. And if we're gonna talk Time Stone, why can't Doctor Strange turn back time after he's bitten?
That's a good point. Because
Yeah.
Hope gets bitten, and there's an incubation period where she's fine and knows it's coming.
Right.
So
Right.
Strange could have easily just been
But
like, "Oh crap."
and well, actually, Hope's not bitten. She just gets cut, and so it's exposed to her that way. I guess kind of the same thing, but they're a little bit inconsistent on the timeline it takes for someone to turn into a zombie because Happy turns into a zombie in like 10 seconds.
That's a good point. So does Ebony Maw too. So
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
that's a good point. I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah, it's one of those things where they I think ignored a few things for the sake of the story they were trying to tell.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
which is fine. I get these episodes are so isolated.
Hmm.
Not all of them are going to have an impact on the larger picture of the MCU. I feel like this one was really more of just like a fun, um, just go crazy and entertain us, not intended to cross over into the main timeline. Because I could see Captain Carter crossing over. I could see
Yeah.
visions of the episode where Hank Pym had killed off all of the Avengers.
Hmm.
I think we could even see a shot of Strange Supreme at some point, maybe in Multiverse of
Yeah.
Madness, right? So I could see some of these shows crossing over. This one, I think that this is going to be one of the ones that's it's just fun. It's just fun to see. Y'all right there?
Yeah. Sorry. I've just started chewing on something, making a bunch of
Oh,
noise.
oh,
Yeah, those 3 that you mentioned, I think those 3 are like the most perfect examples of ones that should show up in a later property.
Mhm.
Not necessarily multiverse of madness, although I feel like that's, if they're going to do it, that's the place to do it. But
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, those are three really good character twists from What If that I think that would be really cool to see on the big screen.
I agree. And if we still had Chadwick, that would have been great as well. I just don't know how they would be able to pull that off now.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
So yeah, the Thanos thing was a problem. I think also that would lead you to believe that this is kind of the end of this universe, similar to the last Doctor Strange episode. Because
Yes.
here's the thing, right? Number one, Scott Lang doesn't go to the quantum realm, so if Thanos gets the Mind Stone, snaps everything, he's probably going to be dusted. That was the only reason he didn't get dusted, right? So Peter and T'Challa are also going to get dusted.
Hmm.
And so with no Scott Lang in the quantum realm, we don't come up with time travel. And
Hmm.
Tony's dead, or he's not dead, he's a zombie. So he can't, he can't get the stones and snap his fingers as well. So it just kind of comes down to Thanos he's gonna prevail. We still
Thanos
have
wins
Thor
the end.
yeah, we still have Thor and the Guardians out there, but Quill and Drax and Mantis are gonna get snapped as well. So and Groot too. So yeah,
Yeah.
it kind of feels like this would be the end of this universe in this scenario.
Yeah, I hadn't, I guess I hadn't thought about it. I guess that's something that we typically speculate what happens next in this universe, but this cliffhanger seemed pretty finite, pretty like this is it, just like with the Doctor Strange one.
Yeah. Well, and it's they're in Wakanda, and it looks like he's surrounded by other zombies, which you would be led to believe that those are Wakandans. And so the idea
Hmm.
is they're flying back there with the Mind Stone so they can experiment on it, so they can come up with a cure. But now they can't do that.
Yeah.
Scott Lang's just ahead.
Hmm.
There's not a whole lot they can do.
But do you want to talk about Scott Lang being ahead for a sec?
Why wouldn't we? Let's do it.
So they said Vision cured, like, so Scott was infected. Scott was there when Hank came out of the quantum realm, got infected, and then was cured by Vision, but not his body, just his head.
Yeah, that's a
So, I mean, I know we're connecting dots, but like, what do you think? What do you think happened? Do you think Vision had to take his head off and figure it out from there, or do you think that he was decapitated while he was fighting off Hank, an infected Hank Pym? Like, what do you got?
I think that that's likely.
Uh-huh.
I will say that when we find T'Challa, he's missing a leg, and it's implied that that was fed to Wanda,
Hmm.
that he was being used to keep her alive.
Hmm.
So I think we could also deduce that perhaps she had been feeding on Scott this whole time. But I don't know why he wouldn't then tell them what's going on.
Right. They never say that. They never talk about, and Scott doesn't seem to be pissed at Vision,
Right. He's just
whereas
sitting there
T'Challa
cracking jokes.
is. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it is probably likely that Scott was decapitated at some point, and that's
Hmm.
fine. I think that it was really more. I think that they were just trying to be as creative as possible here, which is why we got
Hmm.
so many random heroes, and why Scott was a Futurama head and creating cracking dad
Yeah.
jokes. And
Yeah.
I really like the bit where the cloak saves him, and he's Wingardium Leviosa, and he flies off. That
That's
was
so
probably my
good.
favorite part of the episode.
Okay. Yeah, that was good. It was, the jokes were on point. The dad jokes were really good. Bucky got some non-fish related zingers in there. He had a good, like, I honestly really enjoyed his end of the line reference
I
when he
did
took
too.
out Zombie Cap on the train. That was kind of cool.
I did too. And as soon as I saw that scene and he grabbed the shield, I was like, oh, I know Jack's gonna love this because
Oh,
you were
I'm gonna talk about Bucky with the shield.
you were hoping for that all through Falcon Winter
Yeah,
Soldier, and you
yeah.
finally got it, man. You finally
Yep, I'll
got
take it. I'll take it in a what if. That's fine with me.
it. Jokes on me because I was like, he's never gonna get the shield, and I guess you got me on that one.
Yeah,
Yeah, there were some good callbacks. I mean, Bucky with the shield and Peter's home video on how to
that was
survive the zombie
great. That was
apocalypse. Yeah,
golden. That gave me like Zombieland vibes.
Same, same,
Yeah, with the
same. Yeah,
rules and everything.
yeah. Good callback because he was doing the home video stuff in Homecoming, so it was really cool to see them bring that back. And
Hmm.
yeah, the Zombieland sort of nod, I suppose. That was really fun.
I think that would have been a good opportunity for them to talk about kind of the deviation from normal zombies, where these zombies kind of keep their not humanity, but their skill sets and their not memories. I don't know what I'm trying to. Their like muscle memory, I guess.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. That you're right. That actually would have been a really good spot to do that.
Hmm.
And I agree. I think that is a fair gripe. I don't understand why they wouldn't address that.
Hmm.
Outside of time constraints and I guess if you can use the power, why wouldn't you? Maybe this is an advanced zombie sort of virus that allows you to do that. I don't. Maybe if you're Bobby Fischer, you can still play chess like a wizard. I don't know. It's Gordon Ramsay can still whip up a souffle if that's the case. We can still cut a podcast. I don't know.
Yeah.
It is weird. I think that it could also just be us um, being accustomed to traditional zombie tropes
Right.
as opposed to just kind of going along with this. It is what it is. I don't know. It's fair. It's a fair gripe, though.
Yeah. Well, while we're griping, I got another one for you.
Oh, bring it on. Hit
Here's
me.
let's
Hit
talk
me.
about the timeline here, because the timeline is weird. So they
Okay.
say that it takes so Hulk gets to New York and it's a ghost town. So we're supposed to assume that, the zombie apocalypse has kind of run its course, it's done.
Mm-hmm.
My dog is getting into stuff. He's being so weird.
Mm.
Uh I'm sorry, he's so distracting.
That's all right.
So they say that scene is 2 weeks after the scene that Hank comes back from the quantum realms with the virus. So
Yep.
it takes 2 weeks, and it started on the Pacific Northwest. They said within 24 hours of Hank getting out, the Pacific Northwest was infected.
Mm-hmm.
How the hell is that possible? I just don't like in 24 hours. Like I've seen a lot of zombie stuff, but that's fast moving. Those are some fast zombies.
I think I don't know, man. I didn't really think too much about it. I kind of just sometimes you kind of just have to let them just okay, whatever. You get me to the next point of the story. I mean, you got to think about it too. It's Hank and Janet and Scott, seemingly Scott, we would assume. So it's like
Mhm.
they're smarter. They get out. San Francisco's a small town. There's a smaller city, more condensed, so you easier to infect a lot of people. And then it's a fair gripe. I'm not saying you're wrong to question it, but
Mhm.
it might be a bit of a nitpick in my opinion.
All right, well, all right. Can I come at you fast and furious with another one?
Do it, man. Hit me. Bring it on.
I wrote so many down. Okay, so let's move on to Wanda being held not prisoner, but just kind of being held by Vision with the hope that he can eventually cure her. So they make a point to say that Wanda is too powerful to be cured, because Vision was successful in curing Scott Lang. Why can't he do Wanda? And they said that Wanda's too powerful, but not too powerful to be zombified.
We also
Oh,
don't know how many zombies attacked her, right? Like if she got bit by enough. Who did she get bit by?
no, I
Was
just mean like by the virus, like she can be turned into a zombie. Period. Like
Mhm.
sure, she could get overpowered. Like I'm not questioning that. I just like I don't know. It just seems like it sounds like they're they're saying that like her biology is too strong to be cured, but it was infected in the first place. I don't know.
Yeah, but we don't. We again, right? What if she gets bit by 20 zombies and there's enough in there to get um, to infect her? Plus, how does it bind to her powers? Once it's binded, can it be unbinded? Right? Like Venom, it's
Guess
not
that's true.
exactly easy to unbind symbiote, right? You have to weaken it.
Hmm.
Um, and so, I mean, I think that's fair. I think it's a really good point. I hadn't thought about that because, yeah, if she can be infected, why can't she be uninfected? But
Just a
we
just
just
a nitpicky
we
question that I brought up myself and then couldn't figure out an answer for.
Yeah, I get, again, we don't know enough about the virus itself. They didn't spend a ton of time to tell us what's strong about it. I think that in a zombie movie where they have 2 hours to really lay down the rules
Yeah,
and really give it to us, I think that they probably would have had an explanation, but we only had 30 minutes here, and again, fair gripe. I do think it is a fair nitpick, but again, we just don't know enough about the virus and what it does.
true. Yeah, that is true. The she also is unaffected by Vision's stone, where all the other zombies are. They don't want to go near the stone for some reason.
Wasn't she experimented on by it? So that's
Yeah, I
part of her
guess that's
powers.
yeah, that's kind of the fast answer for that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I'm being really negative.
You're kind of looking for things to be upset
Yeah,
about. It feels like.
yeah. What else do I have a positive thing? What do I got? I'm looking at my notes. Nope, that's
let's
negative.
let's talk about Kurt for a second.
Thank you.
Where? Why? What? When? How?
What a fun addition to this motley crew of heroes, though.
It really was. It was just
Yeah,
like,
I think I would have rather had Michael Pena's character, but I would have been super disappointed if it wasn't voiced by Michael Pena. So I guess this is
that would have
this
been
is good as gold.
that would have been perfect. I even think Ti's character would have been great, but I think it's funny because like they're showing us all the heroes. It's like Hope that makes sense. She was right there at the beginning.
Yeah.
Peter and Happy, they're kind of a thing together, right? So I can see that. Sharon and Bucky with Okoye, he was in Wakanda, so that makes sense. And then like Sharon was like, all right, I'll let it go. And then
Mhm.
they bring Kurt. I'm like, well, where did this guy come from? He's never been shown anywhere but the Ant-Man movies. But that's the
Love it.
beautiful thing about the MCU and the ability to have all of these characters and to have a show like this where you can just bring the most arbitrary random character in and just like, all right, I'll accept it.
Yeah, yeah, I like it too.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, he really didn't. I'm trying to think if he like if he did anything, like if he like had a moment of triumph, but I don't think he did. I think he was just along for the ride.
Pretty much, yeah. I think he had a few interactions with Peter and everyone else, but for the most part, I think he was just kind of there to be there.
He foreshadowed Wanda a little bit with the folklore stuff, the Baba
Baba
Yaga or
Yaga.
whatever it is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But that's about it.
Fun addition from a pocket of the MCU that really doesn't get explored much outside of it, being the Ant-Man stuff. So
Yeah.
I like that. I like that addition.
I have, and I don't even know if this is going to be a talking note, but quad jet. Have we been introduced to quad jets as a concept yet?
Using Captain Marvel. It's an older.
Oh,
It
that's right.
predates the
Okay.
Quinjet. Yeah.
On that actually makes sense that I don't remember it because I've still only seen Captain Marvel the one time.
You got to rewatch it, man. It's pretty good. I think it gets a lot of hate. People don't really like
Hmm.
it. I kind of get those gripes, but I think it's all
Hmm.
right. I think it holds up pretty well.
Yeah, I'll definitely rewatch it. We're Kimmy and I are rewatching all of them. I think we're like in the middle of phase two, but I always enjoy watching these movies over again.
See, if you did it my way, you'd already have watched it
That's
by now. So
true.
you'd already be through it.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I have much more. I think I got to talk about everything I wanted to. You have any other notes in there you wanted to touch on?
Yeah, I've got a few more. I don't know if they're they're
Hit
they're
me.
big things, but I can hit you rapid fire. I wrote down
Throw it at
Vision
me.
self terminates. That
Yeah.
was a big moment. I didn't know that he would even be able to do that.
Right. Yeah, I agree. And I think that when he popped up, it was like, oh, of course he'd be there. He's an android. He can't be infected.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it was also a fun twist that he was kind of the bad guy in this. Like not really, but
Hmm.
it
His motivation stemmed from logic.
yeah, right. Yeah. So
Yeah,
I thought that was a
but
fun
how
twist.
sick though? Like why T'Challa? Why you gotta take T'Challa and break off parts of his leg? What like you? They could have been anybody, and you pick a superstar Avenger to just dissect and feed to your girlfriend.
It
What
was
the
so
hell?
dark too because he was like, Vision came through and I thought he was saving me, and it turns out he was bringing me in. I was like, oh man, not the king.
Yeah, like
Oh
okay,
dog.
so like the way that my brain worked when I was watching the scenes, those scenes for the first time, I was like, oh man, I bet T'Challa was bitten on the leg, and Vision saved the day, cut his leg off, and brought him in. And then I rewatched. I was like, no, he's just literally he's just feeding. He's just feeding him to her.
How do you think he's
What?
doing it? Is he doing like a toe at a time? Like there's a little piggy. Here's the one that
Probably,
went to the market.
yeah. Probably.
Oh my God. Yeah. Sick, dark. I'm glad T'Challa survived. It
Hmm.
sucks too because it would have been because my thought process as well was I kind of lost track of time. So my thought process was they're flying back to Wakanda. T'Challa's going to get a leg. Scott's going to
Hmm.
get a whole body. We're going to get another Ant-Man. We might get to see some more fighting. I thought more people might die, but no, it kind of cut it off there. I
Hmm.
thought for sure that yeah, we'd get a Bucky arm for a leg and this Wakandan body, and Scott would just be like ripped, and that would be
Yeah,
really
we'll
funny.
leave
But
we'll leave that to Zombies Endgame.
yeah. I hope that would be fun though. I
I
if
wonder
they
I wonder if this episode has enough traction to have a second Marvel Zombies episode for season 2.
honestly, I could see it, right? Because I feel like that there are a lot of loose ends here that we have legitimate questions on. Like,
Yeah.
is are Thor and the Guardians coming along? Are they going to be able to contact Captain Marvel? Is Scott going to get a body? Are they going to try to fight Thanos, or is this just like we're just led to believe that the obvious is the obvious, and he snaps his fingers, and that's kind of it?
Yeah. I don't know. I hope that we get to see a part 2 for this. I mean, like there are a lot of part 2s I want, but this one especially feels like people are gonna want it, you
I
know?
agree. Even if it ends as badly as the Doctor Strange episode where everything is over, I at least want to see the continuation.
Even if it's something different, even if it's like even well, I guess they all stem from MCU events. So it would be kind of weird to showcase a different outbreak just in a different
They
way at a different point in time. I'd be here for it, but
they could. It's because it's a multiverse, right? It's
right.
unlimited possibilities. So there's who's to say that there isn't another universe out there where Earth
Yeah.
2162 doesn't get infected in Ultron or something like that.
Yeah. I think you brought it up either last episode or 2 episodes ago about the Watcher being. We've seen the Watcher in the backgrounds of every episode. That much. I think that's a really cool theme that they're doing.
Yeah,
But he's becoming more visible,
getting
and
closer
this.
and closer.
Yeah. So, do you think that's gonna culminate in something in the finale of the season, or do you think that's just for fun?
I could see it. I don't know what it would be. It feels like there's a reason why he's getting closer and closer. It feels
Hmm.
like there was a reason why he interacted with Doctor Strange. Um, he is it actually. I did see this, and I don't know all the details of it, but there is a zombie comic where he was the one that I think started the virus or something along those lines,
Oh,
and he
interesting.
was he was involved, or a Watcher was involved. So
Okay.
obviously, I don't think that has an impact on this specific episode, but the fact that he was involved leads me to believe that he is going to pop up somewhere along the way again in some sort of a storyline. Because I don't think we know what every single episode is going to be about. I think that we know there are
Okay.
10 episodes. I think that
Still think there's 9. I don't want to correct you, but I really think there's going to be 9.
there's 10. There's 10.
Really? I mean, I've Googled it. I've looked it up on IMDb. And, everything I see says 9.
Unless Visions has 10 and this has 9.
I'm pretty sure. I don't remember. I don't remember what Visions said. Star Wars Visions.
Hold on,
We're
everybody.
gonna cover it. Stay tuned.
Taking a break.
Speaking of stay tuned, we are gonna do Star Wars Visions. We committed to it just now when I said the things with my face and mouth.
No, there are 9. What the? I almost cursed. Sorry.
I
What the damn?
told you.
Wow. All right. Well, there's still 4 episodes. We know there's a Gamora episode, and that leaves 3 that I don't think we know what they're going to be. So
Yeah.
um, I could see it.
I thought that there was going to be one that focused on Spider-Man becoming a sorcerer, but obviously that was screenshots from this
here.
episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that was
I'll have to rewatch the trailer, but the only one that I can think of right now is the Gamora episode, the Gamora with Thanos armor episode.
Yeah, which
Trying to
honestly,
think back
like,
to the trailer.
I'm if that's the case, if those are the only known episodes, I'm glad because let's keep me surprised. I think that was one of the
Oh, for
reasons why I
sure.
liked this episode so much was because I all I knew was that there were zombies. I didn't know that it was centered around the Infinity War story. So
Yeah.
this was just a pleasant surprise to watch unfold as it did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's cool that I'm glad that they did the Infinity War like at that point in the timeline because they have the most opportunity, the most character opportunity.
Yeah.
Everybody's established. They don't have to bring anybody into the fold and introduce people. Like pretty much everybody knows each other. I mean, there are some small introductions in this episode, but we're 10 years into it, or I
Yeah.
guess 10 years into it. Iron Man's 08. This is the Infinity War's 18.
2018. Yep. So a banner had to meet everybody, but that was pretty quick, and then from there it was nice and easy. So it was good. I really liked it. It was a fun episode. I think it was my favorite one so far, even though there are obvious flaws in the story.
If I had been watching less critically, if I had not been taking notes, if I had not been oh, I want to talk about that. Ooh, I want to talk about this. If I had not had, and I paused it a lot and I got interrupted a few times. And if I had just really zoned out and watched this, I would have been head over heels for this episode. Not that I don't like it, but it's not one of my favorites.
That's fair. Did you only watch it the one time?
Twice. I watched it twice.
Okay. Yeah, the first time I watched it, I just kind of let it.
See, yeah, the first time I watch it, I typically don't take any notes. I just kind of try to enjoy it, but I didn't know if I'd get a chance for a second watch, so I wanted to be sure and be ready.
Fair enough. Okay, well, hopefully next week you enjoy it a bit more than this one. Hopefully, I think next week we'll see. Maybe it's the Gamora episode. I hope it is. I would love it if it was tied to that T'Challa Star-Lord episode we saw in week
cool.
2.
That'd be a really cool idea.
Yeah, I so far I guess we're a little over halfway through the show. So far I'm enjoying What If, so I didn't think I would, so I'm glad.
Yeah. You got any other notes over there?
It's all she wrote, brother. So I think we'll cut it there then.
All
right, folks. Well, thanks for sticking with us to the end. If you did, we really appreciate it. As always, if you want to support the podcast, the best way to do it is to share it with your friends. Maybe leave us a 5-star review on iTunes. Takes you 30 seconds or less. I don't know how long it actually takes, but it's not a whole lot, and it would really help us out. So please do that if you can. Otherwise, we'll catch you guys next week. Links to all of our accounts are in the show notes, and keep on keeping on.
We love you so much. Catch you later.